European News Agency. I also have a question for Mr. Trichet regarding global governance. Yesterday, Mr. de Margeries explained to us that global governance would rest upon greater understanding between nations, and this morning Mr. Wiebacher spoke of consensus. You spoke about formal and informal consultations. So clearly at this level, given what's at stake and all of the stakeholders, the leading nations, the most important international agencies, we can't just rely on consensus. So I'd like to know what kind of supervision have you foreseen, and will there be sanctions also foreseen for those who may not implement the reform?
That's an excellent question. Kemal may have an answer to it. I would say that in all the institutions, whether at the United Nations or in the Bretton Woods institutions or at the World Trade Organization, you have rules, clear procedures, voting procedures. I mean, you can correct them, amend them. Some have veto, maybe like in the UN. So in any case, there are rules that are applied. When you talk of informal governance, you necessarily rest upon nations themselves. Nations that are sovereign, Westphalian, and you also rest on other entities, autonomous or independent, so you necessarily rest upon consensus. You cannot by force oblige a country to change its standards and codes. I believe your question should be dealt with by the UN. The UN is not an economic and financial institution per se, but it should think about it. It may be useful to recall that the World Trade Organization has maybe stronger rules. And I do believe we should pay tribute to the WTO, because over the past few years, despite the crisis, and I hope things will continue in the same way, trade as such was not shaken as it could have been. The rules were respected. And there was no general breakdown of free trade. Of course, we still have a lot to do in the area of services and in other areas, but the fact that there are rules and that the most powerful countries abide by those rules at the WTO is an example that maybe in the long term could be copied in other areas. Philippe Chalma, professor in Dauphine in Paris. You haven't said anything about monetary stability. Without thinking of going back to the Westphalia Treaty or Bretton Woods, do you think that the habitants of when central banks met at the Plaza or the Louvre, do you think we'll ever see that again? Will we ever have better balance regarding the main currencies in the world? I'm a Moroccan journalist of La Nouvelle Tribune. In our country, we consider ourselves an emerging country based on certain criteria like growth, etc. And Morocco has asked to be a member of the G20 but was turned down. What are the criteria that we do not fulfill that justify the fact that we were turned down, and what could we do to be one day part of the G20? Thank you, madam. Here, at the front. Thank you, Mr. Aboudra from Morocco. I have an observation and a question to Mr. Trichet. The observation is on what was said about per capita growth. Don't you think it's high time that Europe considers changing its migration policy? precisely to foster growth. My question is, banks are given 9 years to implement Basel III. You said that things should be done quickly. It took a few days just to give billions of dollars for the bailout. Is that normal? Do you think that prudential measures in this area are sufficient? Some say 20% would be necessary rather than 7%. What do you think of that? I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Trichet regarding monetary stability and per capita growth. And maybe I'll ask the other panelists to tell us what they think about Morocco, the G20, and then we'll close the discussion. Mr. Trichet, let me summarize. We all believe, and of course I say it in a very strict way, we believe that excessive volatility has an adverse effect in terms of growth and stability. Second, I have always said, and I repeat it today, the fact that the American authorities are saying that a strong dollar vis-à-vis the other main convertible currencies is in the interest of the United States. I always said that I agreed with that. Thirdly, regarding emerging countries, which is we've seen before in the presentation, have considerable surplus and have said that they were going towards more currency flexibility. Well, we approve of that. It is, in our mind, one element that will foster a better balance, stability and growth. Regarding the per capita growth, it is a very straightforward question. Do you Europeans think it's true that demography in Europe is a problem. There are several ways to improve the situation, like immigration, that's true, and more child-friendly policies, if I may say, services for women, for mothers, social policies so that women can both have a career and be mothers. So these are major issues, and it's an extremely opposite question. Fathers are important too, not just mothers. Sure, obviously. Of course, you're right. Deux remarques. Tout d'abord, en ce qui concerne les déséquilibres mondiaux et le réalignement nécessaire des devises, je pense sincèrement que des solutions basées sur la coopération sont bien plus efficaces. Je pense que le comité devra trouver le moyen de régler le problème aussi rapidement que possible. Par ailleurs, lorsque le dollar américain a été, au début des années 70, survenu par rapport au yen et à d'autres devises, notamment après le tristement célèbre choc Nixon, c'était le G10 qui avait fait office d'arbitre, qui avait proposé des solutions. En ce qui concerne ce réalignement nécessaire des devises. Au milieu des années 80, là encore, le dollar américain était surévalué et c'est le G5 qui a produit le célèbre accord Plaza. En 1987, notre accord a été conclu, qui était le fruit de la réflexion de la réunion des ministres des Finances du G7. Comme vous le saurez peut-être, le ministre des Finances italien n'y a pas participé, donc c'était en fait un G6, mais officiellement un G7. Alors, c'est entre guillemets processus consultatif ou de gouvernance informelle qui ont été mentionnés vont garder leur importance. Bien entendu, le FMI est au cœur du système monétaire international, mais lorsqu'un réalignement majeur des devises s'impose, si vous avez 185 ou 6 membres du FMI, ils ne peuvent pas participer tous à ces négociations sur le réalignement. Mais étant donné que la nécessité de ce réalignement ne concerne pas G7, G8, et qu'il doit y avoir réalignement entre leurs devises du G7 et les devises des pays émergents, un réalignement même entre les devises des pays émergents, je pense que là, c'est peut-être le G20 qui est le mieux placé pour intervenir, puisqu'il représente des économies émergentes et les autres G. Et je pense que c'est lui qui pourrait proposer une meilleure solution axée sur la coopération. En ce qui concerne la démographie, je suis d'accord avec M. Trichet. Prenez le Japon, par exemple. Le taux de croissance de la population au Japon est de 0 voire inférieur. Aux États-Unis, il est environ d'1%. La croissance du PIB de 1,5% au Japon est comparable à celle des États-Unis en ce qui concerne la croissance du revenu par habitant. Mais cela ne signifie pas que nous ne devions pas procéder à une réforme structurelle et adopter une politique d'immigration plus libérale. Merci, merci. Une dernière observation, Kamal.
Au niveau des pays
Very
émergents,
quickly, regarding emerging countries. Jean-Claude,
il y a vraiment deux types de pays.
there are two types of countries. You have countries with surpluses in their current account, and they like to accumulate reserves, and you have other countries with big deficits in their current account, fortunately, like Turkey, Brazil, and others, a bit like in Spain as well. And so the increase in the exchange rate takes place in an environment of deficit. One last observation regarding the G20 and Morocco. The G20 cannot become the G40 or the G50. As you know, Madam, sure, the G20 always invites countries that represent regional groups like Africa or Asian countries, and we can perfectly hope that at one point Morocco could represent a group maybe of Arab countries, because they're not very represented. So it could be present, but if you open the door to everyone, I mean, you have Nordic countries, Central American countries, and then the G20 would lose its purpose. Word of conclusion. The organizers, in their wisdom, knew there would be many questions at the end of this panel. So we have a second session planned this afternoon, during which we can delve into the financial sector, coordination of economic policies, the mechanics of governance. So let's meet again at 3:30. And then I would like to thank all the members of the panel. Thank you very much.